Hey guys, what's up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, where today we're taking a look at this new Batman Dark Knight Returns figure from McFarlane Toys. So there's been plenty of Dark Knight Returns figures released in the past from companies like Mafex, Mattel's DC Direct line, and if I'm being honest, the Dark Knight Returns look has never really appealed to me. However, when I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and pictures of this figure popped up, I said that I had to grab him for myself. He looks awesome. I don't know what it is that's won me over with this McFarlane Dark Knight Returns, but I think he looks great and I can't wait to take a closer look at him. Before we do, let me know down in the comments section below if you've seen the new Batman film and what you thought of it. I've seen it once, I thought it was really good, but I'm going to have to go a second time to really make up my mind. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below, and while you're down there guys, as always, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and let's not wait any longer, let's take a closer look at this Batman figure. And so here is our Dark Knight Returns Batman in the usual McFarlane packaging. At the top here we get Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which is actually pretty nice. We can feel it spot varnished on there. We can get 22 moving parts from this figure, McFarlane Toys up top. We then get the display, and I'm interested in this big horse tail that is part of the Build-A-Figure. As it says here, collect to build a horse, 3 of 4, DC Multiverse Batman. This box is a bit bigger than usual, as it is fitting that Build-A-Figure piece in there. At the side here, Batman The Dark Knight Returns all over the place, and the same here, just says Batman DC Multiverse up top. On the back we get what presuming is going to be the image on the trading card inside. 10 moving parts with the horse, I guess, the price mark, the rest of the figures I believe in the wave. Yeah, I didn't see any of these at the shop, but that does look about right. And yeah, more information on the horse, which to be honest I'm not too bothered about. Let's get Batman out of the packaging. And here is the Dark Knight out of the box with the accessories that he comes with and the trading card, of course. And the image on this trading card isn't actually the same image that I thought it would be in the back of the box with the horse. Different image that actually looks really nice. We can see it here. Image of the figure holding the accessories. Let's see what it says on the back. Now, I have recently lost my voice. It's just coming back. I'm not going to read all this out. If you want to read this, guys, hit the pause button now. And then we also get a pair of interchangeable hands. So these look more like fisted hands as opposed to the grabby hands that he has slotted in at the moment. And yeah, you know, just your usual fisted hands. Look like they'll go well with the figure. Really not much to them if I'm being honest. But something that I do really like is the other accessory that we've been given. Here we get, which I presume is like a Batarang. That looks like a Batarang, right? And then we get the rope here, and we can put that in his arms. We can see what that looks like later on. I think that looks really cool. Really like the length. I really like all the rope linked up here. It's genuinely something that I think would make a great accessory in photos. So yeah, I really like the accessory that we're given with this figure. I would perhaps like an extra just loose Batarang without the rope, but yeah, that's just asking for something extra. I really like this piece here. And then we get the figure itself, which I think for the most part looks fantastic. I'm utilising the stand that comes with most of these McFarlane figures. We get the DC logo spot varnished on there, just has the one peg that we can put on his feet. And yeah, a lot of the McFarlane figures, I do need that stand. I really do struggle to get these guys standing up without falling over. This one wasn't too bad. His feet are a bit wider. We can see what that looks like in a second. Messing around with them, I would be able to get him to stand. I can't do it right now, but yeah, that's why I was using the stand there. Yeah, this face looks awesome. At the start of this video I said how I've never really been a fan of the Dark Knight Returns look in the past, and that's mostly to do with the size of the ears. It's not like a downfall of this figure at all, that's just the look, but personally I much prefer my Batman with a bit longer ears, and I don't think they could possibly be any smaller. The head sculpt though is excellent. I really like the sculpted detail in the forehead there, and that angry expression where he's gritting his teeth. He really looks gnarly, looks like a big brute. We've just got the white out eyes, but yeah, I think that's a great head sculpt. All that flesh tone and the lips and everything, really, really nice. I really like this from McFarlane. Rest of the body here, lovely big bat logo. That looks fantastic. Definitely how I think the bat logo looks on this Dark Knight Returns costume, and I think it looks great on this figure. The utility belt again also looks really nice. I really like the dark shade they've used all around this belt here, and I mean it is just the same pocket over and over. Nice big bulky utility belt, just like Batman here. The gloves, like the ears, the wee blade bits are a bit smaller, a bit smoother. Once again, just the costume design, but it all looks good. Throughout the arm, we get this really nice sculpted detail. Not even just the arm, like all over the figure. We can see in the torso area and the legs, there's a sculpted detail that makes it look like fabric's actually on Batman here. I think the sculpt of this guy is absolutely phenomenal. This is definitely one of, if not the best McFarlane figure I have so far. There are a couple things I'm not 100% on, which I will touch on, but sculpt wise, this thing is absolutely smashed out the ballpark. You can see the ab area here as well. Yeah, the shades of the costume look really nice. On top of that sculpt, I mean, this is a great Dark Knight Returns figure. There's not really much more to it. I will run over the articulation later on. The cape here looks really nice. Once again, the sculpt is absolutely spot on. The cape looks excellent. It is like a harder rubber. It's still flexible. We can move it all around. But yeah, I mean, the sculpt, the paint on this guy, I'm giving this top marks. So before I move on and compare this Batman next to some other figures, I do just want to mention how I think the head sculpt is ever so slightly too small. It does stand out a wee bit to me, where the body, the legs are really bulky and the head is just a wee bit too small. I think it needs to be a bit bigger. And then the other gripe I've seen other people say, and I definitely agree with, are the legs are too long. Head's too small, legs are too long, and it makes a kind of awkward proportion Batman. It's not too obvious at first glance, but when you do take a step back and look at this figure, yeah, I do wish those legs were a bit smaller, and I wish that head was a bit bigger. Something else that's just not uncommon with these McFarlane figures is it's a bit clunky to like move around and position and get them looking really flush. The ab areas seem to be off a wee bit. I wish that was straight with the rest of the figure, and I've tried playing around, I can't get it. The head sculpt's really awkward to move around as well, which is something I remember being the case with other McFarlane figures that we can take a look at. It's just wee things that I wish McFarlane would improve on in the future. I don't know. Even like, I had to move the leg around here, like up at the thigh area. You could just clearly see where the articulation is moving around, and I had to really twist that round to hide it. You can see it at the top of the arms and everything here, and it's not a big deal. It's not enough for me to say don't buy this figure. It definitely has not put me off this figure. It's not even really put this figure down on any points in my book, but it is definitely worth mentioning. And so to compare the Dark Knight Returns McFarlane figure to some other figures, here is the McFarlane Batman movie figure, which we recently took a look at on the channel, and I absolutely love this figure. Really think it looks great, and both of these Batman figures are some of the best McFarlane figures I've definitely got in the collection. They both have really decent articulation. The sculpt is absolutely spot on with them, although I did just say the legs were too long and the head was too small, but for the most part it's absolutely spot on. I mean, this Batman movie figure had a couple things that really irked me as well, like the size of the hands. There wasn't even any interchangeable hands, and it looked a bit awkward. So it seems like a common theme with these McFarlane figures. Even when they're getting better and I'm really liking the quality overall, there's always just wee tiny things that personally make me feel like it's a bit of a setback. And then for another McFarlane figure comparison, here is the Red Sun Superman, and yeah, talking about clunky and awkward to maneuver and getting him looking flush, that's this figure. He's just a bit awkward, and I do think McFarlane have been making improvements with every release, and that's clear to see when we've got him next to the new Dark Knight Returns figure here. But yeah, I don't know, they look great next to one another, and I suppose that's the main thing. And then for a Batman comparison, here is our Dark Knight Returns McFarlane figure next to Mattel? Yeah, it was the Mattel Movie Masters Dark Knight. I think that's the Dark Knight Rises figure. 6-inch scale, 7-inch scale, two completely different figures, but I did want to just show off that height difference with the newer McFarlane line. So I'll try and run over all of the articulation with Batman here. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's kind of hard to maneuver his head around. Like, it just springs back into place for the most part. Feels like it might snap if I keep on rotating it. It's a weird joint that McFarlane seems to always use with these figures. You can move it left and right, and you can move it up and down a wee bit, but the range of movement is not great at all. You can get the arm moving about this far up, which is great, all the way in at the body. Does have a butterfly joint as well, which I don't think I have any other McFarlane figures with such blatant butterfly joints like that. Got a single jointed elbow here. We can move, yeah, I thought we could move it around at the glove area here, but we can't. We can move the, oh, that looks like it was going to come off. We can move the wrist like up and down. That's really stiff, but the wrist will move up and down. You can rotate that round as well. Got this articulation here, which once again is just a bit awkward to try and move around. It springs and yeah, it doesn't really stay in place. It will move though, nothing really backwards and forwards. And yeah, it doesn't really move at the waist either, but there is a wee bit of movement there. Same articulation in this arm as this here. We can get the leg kicking about that far forward, about that far back, really far out the way, upper thigh cut here, and yeah, you can see what I was talking about earlier. That looks terrible, and it's so hard to try and like get that hidden when you're displaying this figure, but let's give it a go. Okay, it's sort of hidden now. It's just such an awkward piece. Double jointed knees, which is always good. Nothing really in the calf area. Get the foot backwards and forwards. That will pivot left and right as well. And we get toe articulation, which is great. And so there we have it for this McFarlane, the Dark Knight Returns figure. And it's just the usual from McFarlane. It's a bit awkward, it's a bit clunky, but it looks great. Yeah, the articulation is alright. The proportions are a wee bit off here and there. You really need to kind of move him around to get him looking sleek, but once you do play around, once he like loosens off a wee bit, it is worth it. This figure, as you probably saw at the start of the video, was $24.99, and that's because it's got this big Build-A-Figure piece. Personally, I really don't care for many Build-A-Figures, even Marvel Legends and things. I do wish he was a bit cheaper, but for the most part, he's a good figure. Yeah, it's got its problems with every McFarlane figure. These seem to be problems that always come up, but he's good. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. While you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'll leave the link to my Instagram in the description below, where I'll try and post some photos of Batman up on there, so feel free to check that out, and feel free to hop on over to the channel page, where there are plenty of other Batman videos up over there. Remember to let me know what you thought of the Batman movie, and as always guys, I'll catch yous on the flip flop later. Cheers.